All right, looks like we're live and we're up and running. I did not intentionally choose to have the bad webcam, but my camera stopped working too. So that was that. I was like, well, ain't that icing on the cake? So if you're reading the title or you saw the post earlier, sorry, I thought I would try and fix my webcam and that it would take 2 seconds. And it is being problematic now. I'll put it back. But you read the title. Um, I'm gonna start by saying it's not like the absolute end of the world. Like the it's not like the entire film is gone. Um, I have multiple backups of the film. It's just the main drive that I was mostly rendering to. Um, it it got corrupted. I have sent it in to be repaired. I'm hoping that they can pull the data from it and get that sorted to where that can be uh, just restored. But it's probably going to be a costly endeavor. So I'm hoping with this stream, anybody who is able to or in a position to donate, it'd be greatly appreciated. But if not, hey, I'm just happy to have you here to hang out, lift some spirits, and have some fun. That's what we're here to do. So I am going to get into. I made a Beyblade reggae song. I'm autistic, by the way. Sorry. Hey, LSG. Gang, gang. That's cool, though. That's cool, though. I love Beyblades. Um, but yeah, so basically, what we're going to be getting into today is some animation. The main thing that was lost from the film was the last few weeks of renders, which sounds bad but isn't that bad. Thankfully, because it's built in Unreal Engine, um, it takes a lot less time to render. I think the biggest thing that's going to be like not even necessarily like a huge loss, but like if they can't recover the drive, it's going to be just problematic and kind of annoying to go back in and try and get. Um, it's because I used an SSD and not an SSSD. Very, very true. It's actually, and I don't know if I could ever recommend getting these necessarily, but it's a Samsung 870 Evo, and this is the second one that I've had go bad on me. Not just on the film, just like in general. Um, which like it's a SATA drive. It's supposed to like live on your motherboard, so like it is supposed to be good, but mine died. So it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be able to get an animation because the way that I basically run is one, I have a bunch of backups. I'm not doing anything on those backup drives right now because I don't want to like potentially lose those drives if they're able to recover it on the main drive. Um, yeah, Samsungs are expensive, and I really would expect better. I really truly would. Um, but basically, the way that I have this built out is like where each stage of production kind of happens is in a different spot, and then it's all like backed up and saved like in multiple spots and areas. With an Unreal project, it's a lot harder to open up something that wasn't created on the drive. But thankfully, the drive that went down didn't have the like the main Unreal Engine projects. So all the animations from there, like they're animated. I just had to go in and like start re-rendering like 6 weeks worth of work. So it wasn't terrible, but it is what it is. So we are going to do some animation today, since like the film must go on. We still have to create the film. We're just right now kind of waiting to see if that drive is going to come back. or at least like the contents of the drive would be good to have. But we are going to jump into Unreal Engine, do some animation. Like I mentioned, if anybody wants to donate, it is, or become a member or anything like that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Not necessary though, but it would help with the cost that it's going. I'm not sure what the total cost of recovering the drive is going to be, but it's going to be a couple $100 if I had to guess. So that's just the where it's at. But yeah, I mean we can still continue to animate, and that's what we are going to do right now. That's totally okay, Jonah. I get it. I'm broke too. But yeah, no, I have zero expectations for anybody to give anything. But if anybody wants to help out, that would be a way to. I guess is the way that I should phrase that. But we'll jump in, animating some fun, cool stuff. If you saw the post, there's that pretty cool shot of like the veteran shooting the hunter that's in like midair. That's like a whole sequence of things that I've been working on. And then like the shot that we're gonna work on right now is like the other three Helldivers like watching that guy kind of kick ass is the moment that we're going to be animating right now. So like I mentioned, all the animations are intact, since those are on a completely different drive. It's just mainly the renders and stuff, which like for Unreal isn't the end of the world, but it is like kind of bothersome that that drive went down. To give some context as to when it went down, because I have that exact moment seared into my mind. My wife and I were chatting, and we have been huge fans of and on a kick for K-pop demon hunters. That's been like our thing right now, which has been fun. And she mentioned, oh, thank you so much, Ghosty. Hey man, hope you're doing all right. It's unexpected to see hardware giving up like this. I hope you'll be able to recover the data and continue working soon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. What is THB? I'm just curious. But thank you. That means so much, Ghosty. I really appreciate it. Also, I have your Discord messages. I've just been extremely busy, and when the drive went down, my life got even more hectic. Because there's other stuff on there too, not just the Helldivers film. But I really appreciate that, Ghost. That means a whole lot. Thank you. But yeah, to continue the story, my wife and I, we've been really into K-pop demon hunters recently. And she was like, oh, like it would be kind of funny if like, you did, it's an abbreviated to my country, Thailand. Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Ghosty. That means a whole lot. Thank you. But she was like, it'd be funny to do like an animation or something for that. And I think what happened was like the drive was like close to capacity. I'm not really sure. Again, I've had these drives fail before. Because most of the time when a drive fills up, it slows down and then like you can clear stuff out. And then it's like back to normal. Or like you clone it and then you format it and then put, like 60% of the stuff back on and it's totally fine. But like this one just straight up and died. But it was my wife's idea of like, it'd be funny to do that. I was like, oh, that would be like really funny. And just like, is there like a quick way to animate it? So I did like a video mocap thing of like there was like a dance tutorial for one of the songs. I was like, oh, this could actually be like kind of funny. Let me see if I can do something with it. And I started tinkering around with it for a couple of minutes, and then all of a sudden my computer just locked up. And I was like, uh-oh. And then turns out the drive had failed. But once I pulled the drive out, the computer was totally fine, which was my bigger worry. But it heard me saying it would have to do more work and gave up. Exactly. The guy in the brown, that is yep, that's our medic diver. He was a design I wanted to add to the film. There was like always talk of making him his specific character a medic, and that's what he ended up turning into. So it's I like the design of it. I was trying to figure out like what the color and stuff would be, but like you don't want to do like straight red or straight white, and I landed on the brown color, which I'm a pretty big fan of. That's cool, Ghosty. Yeah, no, I really need to get back to your Discord messages. I have a few people in Discord. Discord's always so tough because I don't like responding on my phone whenever possible, and then like when I sit down at my computer to like respond to Discord messages, I usually have so many that it's just like I'm trying to like get through and see who messaged me and whatnot, and then like I'll start a conversation with somebody and it'll get going, and then like I might have to step away and then come back, and then all of a sudden like it's like another 16 messages deep or something. I feel like it's one of the fatal things in Discord, but it's all right. I feel like I need to just make this rock taller for this specific sequence. Well, to keep things going and rolling, once again, for anybody new, just to have you up to speed, for anybody continuously watching, I'll probably mention it a couple times just so everybody's up to speed on to what happened. Basically, the main drive for the film went kaput, and so we're trucking ahead regardless, because things still need to be done on the film, but it's kind of, I sent the drive off to be repaired, so we will see if it comes back in good enough shape. That is the big question right now. Where was I going with before that? That's right, a person. There's hoping. Which the repair place seemed pretty optimistic. I actually found them on YouTube trying to figure out what was wrong with my specific drive. It's called Lap Fix. I believe it is Lap Fix. I don't know. But they're like just short of a 5-star review from like a few thousand reviews. So I felt pretty comfortable with it, but I found their service through a YouTube video looking up something about my specific drive, and I found some IT guy from there like diagnosing stuff on YouTube, and ended up going through them to at least see if they could take a look. But they did seem pretty optimistic. They were like, yeah, we deal with these drives all the time. Like, you know, it's likely like recoverable. Just the drive isn't going to, like, the drive is going to be the main thing. And my guess is that's going to be the main cost, is basically because I'll need to purchase another drive for them to clone it to. Would be my guess where it's at. Hey Jonah, no worries. Thanks for dropping by. I always appreciate when you join the streams. It's always a good time seeing you. If you want to pop by later, feel free to. But we'll be seeing you. Thank you so much for coming by and hanging out for a little bit. But I suppose like it is kind of a good thing, just like how I have my workflow set up, because I need like Unreal Engine. You too, Jonah. You too. I need Unreal Engine to run pretty quick. So like I have like specific drives set up for like different things. So like my fastest SSDs are what like Unreal and DaVinci Resolve and stuff, and like my main operating system like installs are on, which is like, you know, definitely ideal. And then when it comes to like storing footage, or certain project files, like I'll put those on the drive that was lost. So that drive being in repair right now, you know, hopefully it's okay, but it is mainly for, I mean, it's only for storage. I think one of the big things that probably stinks the most about it is, and I don't really know why I didn't really think about this too much before, but like all my YouTube stuff is on there too. And I don't like ever think about backing that stuff up until it was gone. Because I'm a way more like the projects, like the Helldivers project, the Red Dead project, New Frontiers, like all of those, like while they're being worked on, is like there needs to be like at least like 3 copies of this, you know, and like I gotta try to remember to back them up every so often and whatever. But like my YouTube channel and stuff, I never even like stopped to think like,
who is that?
You know, what might be happening there, and or like even to back it up or whatever. And then the drive went down, and all that is on there. But it's all right. All I really need from YouTube is you guys anyways. So the biggest thing that's in that kind of jazz is like just like thumbnails and like what I usually use for like the stream music and stuff like that. The red costs are illegal. The red costs. What does that mean? I feel like I'm lost. I'm lost in Del Taco sauce. Ah! A hand's not supposed to do that. I was gonna see. It's kind of doing this weird thing. I wonder if that's just his thumb. I can fix that though. The medic. Ah. What is kind of fun about this animation in particular is the way that it's set up. So they have audio up here for me to like animate with and to, which is how I did all of New Frontiers and all of Room 24. Like had those in there. Room 24 was a little bit different because that was you know, like a motion capture performance. Like it was actors in a mocap suit acting stuff out. So it was a little bit different. But like for Helldivers, like every single shot is accounted for. So it's a little bit more like it's easier to keep track of in a sense, or like it's what's the way to say this? I don't need to have like every bit of audio from the film set up, but then like in a dialogue sequence like this, especially because I'm recording with one mocap suit, like having the audio for animation is nice. So like you can even hear it. Let me turn it up to 1. But you can see like the performance. So like I acted out, well, like obviously the voice actors like voice these characters. This guy right here, he's voiced by the guy who voiced Jack Cooper in New Frontiers. But with this specific animation, because it is them talking and kind of conversing back and forth, there is audio to it. So I can play that back for you guys. You can get one of the jokes. So they're watching, you know, that one veteran character, like, you know, single-handedly taking on like an entire horde of bugs. And this is kind of their, like, it breaks from the action to come into this for a moment.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
So that's what we're working on cleaning up right now. But this is the it's the kind of tongue-in-cheek you can expect from the film. But be prepared to hear those lines a few times while I work through the animation, because I have to do it for each character. It'll look a lot more cleaned up too once everybody's like, you know, up against the rock, kind of where they're each respectively supposed to be.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
There is something off.
Longer than any other Helldiver I know.
There's something a little bit off about the motion capture.
Longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
That's better. That was a very early on joke that I had written, because the way that I wrote the Helldivers, like the first draft of the Helldivers script, before we had like a full writing team on it, was I basically like wrote down like just a list of jokes like throughout the day while I was working on the Red Dead Redemption short. I would just like a joke would pop into my head, I'd jot it down, and I just had a list that just like kept going and going and going. And this was one of them. Actually, I probably have it in my phone, honestly. I probably have this original joke written down, and it's probably not too far off from what you hear here from the voice actor. Let's see. This has been in production for so long that yep, here it is. From August 24th, 2024, almost a year ago. It is the ah! it is the first joke in there. But it's, yeah, the first joke was the how long has he been deployed? 9 minutes. And then I put the exploding head emoji. And yeah, like there are so many jokes in here that are like, once the film comes out, it would be kind of funny to go through these notes and like just be like, this was like the original idea for it. I just don't want to like say any that like are like spoilers, but there are a few in here. There are a few in here that I can talk about that didn't end up making it into the script. Mission critical data being the review bomb stats. That's something that I might still implement. We'll see. I don't have any like. It might be like an Easter egg in the background. Somebody just saying, manage democracy. Can you think of a better kind? A lot of these did end up in the script. I was looking for the ones that didn't. Super Earth National Anthem, and just like having somebody just being like, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. For you VeggieTales fans, there was like contemplation of calling a bot Buzzsaw Louie, because I said that in a game one time and it got like an outburst of laughter. I was like, that would actually might be a good joke. I have tested some of these in game too, just to see if they hit or not. Family bonds and war bonds are all you need. If I like the way it sounds, it must be good propaganda. It's another one that didn't make it into the script. There was at one point this one isn't in the script. There's something kind of like it, but not quite. But I wanted to just do like the opposite of the cliche, where like you know, there's always like the person in combat and they're like, I didn't sign up for this, and then like just having somebody be like, this is exactly what I signed up for. This one was in the script and the voice actor recorded it, and I ended up cutting it later. This isn't verbatim what was in the script, but this is the essence of the joke. These bots are programmed to believe one way without the freedom to think for themselves. Makes me sick. That one's in there. Decommissioned with extreme prejudice. That did not make it. Real heroes wear capes. This is why if I ever make a sequel, I got tons of jokes loaded. Oh, that's my favorite joke. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it is in the film. But that's my favorite joke in the film. I'll have to do a director's commentary stream after the film releases to talk about my favorite joke in the entire film. Because I am so proud of having come up with it. That's in the film. That's in the film. That's in the film. I just completely rewrote the joke, and it's actually way funnier. The classic, if an enemy tries to engage in diplomacy, shoot them. There are a lot that I just like would, especially when like the game last summer was like kept freezing and stuff. I would write down just whatever the hints, the helpful tips that they put on screen. I would write those down to see where they could be applicable. A Helldiver using chainsaws for hands. That was an idea at one point. Like taking a berserker, taking his chainsaws and like, you know, going crazy with it. Never really fit into the script though. This one would have been a classic, especially if we were doing like more like a red versus blue kind of thing. Somebody being like, we're Helldivers, and then another character being like, what kind of Helldivers are you? Bot divers, bug divers, mo divers? Oh, a Helldiver marooned on a planet who goes insane. That was an idea. That was like a whole subplot at one point. Again, didn't end up making it in the film, but like, you know, you gotta think it has happened in game where like everybody gets on Pelican 1 and the last guy is running up and then it takes off. Like canonically, there's a bunch of marooned Helldivers. So that was like a whole idea that I was entertaining at one point, but just like timing wise, it didn't fit into the script. Which the script is already pretty long, so. This is another one that like it's way too niche to something in the game. Where like when I was kind of like workshopping and like testing the joke, it just wasn't landing, and I was like, I probably just shouldn't put this in here. But it was like at one point, like whether it's a character or a sign or something, it would say there are no genders here, only brawny and lean. But because that's the two body types you can do for your character in Helldivers. But it wasn't landing, so I didn't. I didn't go with it. And all those are in the script, so I'm not going to spoil them. All the rest of the jokes on that list, but those are some of the ones that didn't make the cut. But the joke in this was the very first joke that I came up with for the film. Funny full circle moment.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Okay, honestly, this guy's looking pretty good. I might have to adjust his eyeline later, but I'd rather just bake his stuff to a rig and then clean that up afterwards. So I'm just going to attach his hand to the rock. Bake all frames. Boom. There we go.
Than any diver.
It doesn't look very lively, but my thinking is... Actually, I should probably set up the cameras before I go too much further for the scene. But my main thinking is just that, like, you're not quite looking at it. You can sometimes... Actually, honestly, if we... Let's just get rid of this real quick, just to show like another technique. So like that's to like set up a parent, which like when it's like somebody like holding like a weapon or something, it works out because like the weapon is like naturally like twisting the wrist and whatnot. But sometimes, like especially if like a character's like touching something, you can get away with either a rotation or a translation constraint. So let's just see if that looks any better. We'll try a translation constraint rather than a full-on parent.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
So I don't know if it looks better. I don't like how it kind of rotates around consistently. So I'm gonna go ahead and say let's instead, can I delete this? I'll just parent it. We'll just add a new parent. Make it through. And I'm gonna go ahead and save out his animation. We'll set up the cameras next. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a basic a basic animation on all of them. The main reason I don't want to set up the cameras right now is because I'm also kind of resetting their like their pose positions, but I'm not going to worry about too much about stuff like fingers and stuff like that. That's less of a worry of mine. And then if I have to like go in, because like my guess is probably like when she puts like her other hand up, that might be like where I'll want to have some finger motion, but who knows, the camera might not see that. I have experienced that a couple times already where I've gone through like the entire process of animating something before I put the camera in there, and then once I got the camera in there, I'm like, what did I go and do that for? I can't even see the hand in this frame. So let's see here. Oh, another new Unreal Engine trick that like I realized, because I have everything like in folders and whatnot. I'm very shocked that I just discovered this, but if I just paste the folder name up here, it just goes straight to it. That's super helpful. And 6105. So there's that, and this is HD6 anim. So we'll give everybody basic animation first, and then set them up. I'm gonna do both guys on the side first, which he might need to come around a little bit. This rock is kind of awkwardly placed, or you can just like be leaned down on it like a child. Well, there goes my hero. Watch him as he falls. And he has both hands down the entire time. If you're wondering, though, this is how you do mocap with one suit or one person. So I have like the initial track that is like the 3 beeps, and then I mocap to that, and then do that every time for each character. And I have an idea of like where the blocking of each person is. Also, for anybody just joining, in case you need to get or you're wondering what happened, the main hard drive with the project has failed. The automatons have taken it out, but it has been sent off to repairs. I don't know how much the repairs are going to cost or how much it's going to set me back or whatnot, or if it can even be recovered. That is still an unknown, but I'm being optimistic. I'm hopeful. I'm certain that it'll come back. If it doesn't, we do have backups. So we should be safe. But you know, it's just a matter of waiting to see. Again, I'm being optimistic about it, but there's always that thought in the back of my head, you know? But I'm very rarely an optimist anyways. Not necessarily a pessimist. I've always said I'm a realist. Like, I look at situations for very real what they are. In this case,
Who is that?
what that is
that?
the reality is the drive was working just fine before it went down. So And I think I know exactly what would have caused it. What would have caused it, I'm pretty sure, is honestly some old footage that I had noticed. I was like, I need to get this off my drive. And I went to get it off my drive, and not all the footage was copying off the drive. But the footage is like, without like getting too into it. Well, that makes it sound bad. It's basically, I filmed a documentary at one point that never came out. But like, I've always been like, this feels important to keep because like, it is kind of, I mean, it is historical. But then I had noticed that not all the footage was copying and that it was, like having problems. So I was doing like these massive exports of the footage off the drive, to try and preserve it. And I noticed a couple of oddities, but I was like, that's probably like just like the footage, like it's old footage. That's probably all it is. But I think that is the source of what caused the drive to fail, was loading and caching the loads of that footage. And if some of it was corrupted, it's a likelihood that that would have been the issue. The positive spin on that is, if that is literally all it was, there's a very good chance that it could be restored. The only thing will be that the restoration will cost money. But for the stuff that's on there, it's definitely worth it. For the film alone, it's worth it. But for the other stuff on there too, and just like, I've been able to pick up some more freelance work more recently, which is like helped not have me in a super dire state. But even still, like, it'll be an unexpected expense. So the only other hope I might be able to have is maybe the guys who work at the thing are a fan of the channel. Or they go start pulling my files off, because I told them which files I was like, if all else, like, this is like the priority of like stuff that I want salvaged. So if this is all you can get, please try to. And who knows, maybe they'll look me up and then be like, whoa, I remember watching this Helldivers trailer. Or this Titanfall trailer. It's this guy. And who knows, maybe they'll find it in their hearts. What's the realism of that happening? Not very realistic. But I can dream. All right, we'll bake all frames. One thing I don't love with Unreal that I like about Blender is that you can constrain something in Blender. And like when you set a constraint, you can basically set both the weight of the constraint, but also like it's not keyed from like that specific point. I do understand and get the workflow of like doing it like from a point and keyframing like that constraint hitting. I just like in Blender how like when you set a constraint, it just constrains it to that, and then you can set a key that affects the tolerance of it. But in an instance like this, where like, you know, when I put both hands down, it's a little bit off, but like I'm going to get cleaner animation data if I set like when both hands actually went down. But then if I could just keep them there, that would be more ideal. But to my knowledge, you can't track a constraint backwards.
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any.
Well, there goes a crash. Maybe that's in my subconscious is why I built up a decent enough system to where not everything gets lost. It's because I'm so used to Unreal Engine just constantly crashing and losing Unreal Engine projects. I want to see that statistic. I wonder if Epic Games can send me that. How many times Unreal crashed during a project? That's the statistic I would like to see. 1 second. I saw somebody sent me a message. Oh, it's just a reaction. All right. Let's get this pulled back up. Like, how many shots are in here, though? So, like, to give, like, context with this scene specifically, I had to start re-rendering from, I believe, 51 down. So, it's, like, it looks like a lot. It's not, like, too terrible. The biggest thing was that there were just so many visual effects passes in these. That didn't, like, were on that drive that weren't backed up anywhere else, which is like the annoying part because everything is so individually instanced. All right, let's see what was saved there. Okay.
How's that?
It does not like all those keys. Unreal Engine. Hey, the law. So basically what happened was the main hard drive with the film and like the working files and all the most recent renders went kaput. So I have sent it to be repaired. I don't know what the cost of that repair is going to be, but I'm bound to find out. So we'll find out at some point. Hopefully by the end of the week, if it can be repaired or like if the data can be pulled off of it, which would be great. You know, an unexpected expense, but it is what it is. Thankfully, I have backups of the film and the actual animation I have happening on a different drive entirely, because I need it to be on a faster drive, even faster than the SATA drives. Which, like, I've run Unreal Engine projects on the SATA drives and it's been fine. But, like, for the most part, you know, I like to do them on my faster M.2 drives for the Unreal Engine projects. So the work that went into animation is preserved. That drive is fine. It's all of the renders from like the last 6 weeks that were on there that included like the renders themselves, but then like visual effects passes and like, you know, in Unreal Engine, there are cases where it's like you render something and then like the simulation doesn't play the way you want it to, so you have to re-render it. So like that drive had all that perfected on it, as well as the additional visual effects passes for each shot that needed it. So all of that is currently gone until it can potentially get repaired, but I don't know what the state of that specifically is going to be. Hazy, what's going on, Hazy? It was good playing with you. What was that, like 2 weeks ago? That was a ton of fun. I hope you're doing good, man. You look like you've been going to war with your SSD for a few hours, my friend. Indeed, indeed. I got that. I got that look about me. The law. Okay. Hey, I got a question or more of a favor to ask you. Shoot. Hit me with it. Let's hear it. The law. Let me know. HD 5. And the good thing about like how I'm working too is like, let's say I do need to back up the Unreal Engine files. Wrong animation. I need that one. The way that I've been doing this, and again, I do need to back it up. But the animations that I'm doing, I'm basically like saving them out to like these clips of animation, which can always just be copied from the Unreal folder because Unreal Engine is an engine. Like you can expose all of it in Notepad, you know. So like all the files are contained in there. All right. Oh, here's the law's favor he requested. Can you add a Helldiver dropkicking a bot or illuminate, or just something small in the background for fun? Just as a little funny thing, since my friend did it in game. All I can say is you gotta wait for the film. There are plenty of little things very similar to that exactly. One of our animators actually did it a while ago now, probably like 4 or 5 months ago now, but did a shot that's almost exactly that. It's basically like there's like a whole scene with like a bunch of like first galactic war divers, and like one of them takes a grenade and punches it into a bot's head, and then 300 kicks him into a group of bots, and the grenade explodes and blows those bots up. So plenty of little things like that. Oh, this guy still has a rig on him. His needs to be swapped for animation too. That's probably why we were crashing. I forgot to pop his animation in here. There we go.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
I love... So this guy, Justin Foster, he voiced Jack Cooper in Titanfall New Frontiers, and he voiced the drunk in Room 24. Incredible voice actor. And he's always doing stuff like that. Like all of his takes, there are so many of his lines that are just like stuff that he made up or came up with in his recording and just like submitted just like a bunch of different versions of. He's very good at improv. So like the shiver and everything in there, like when he's like 9 patriotic minutes, ooh, like that wasn't in there. Like it was just like it was literally just supposed to be like more of like the way I had originally written it was like a more stoic, and how long is that? It's like 9 patriotic minutes, just like something to that effect. But like he made it like way more fanboyish, and it's so funny, especially just because like in New Frontiers he voiced such a serious character, and especially like a huge character for the franchise, like the main character you play as in Titanfall 2. He does that voice, and he does it really well in New Frontiers. And then like in something like this, he's just like, way more animated, and it's like all funny business. And there are a bunch of his lines that were not written down. They were not in the script. He just in the recording booth came up with them and submitted them as extra takes, and I ended up using pretty much everyone. There was the only times that I didn't use something that he improv'd was if it didn't fit with another character or something that like immediately followed it up. But he is such a good voice. The entire cast is incredible. But he has now been in every project. So Justin Foster and Nathaniel Barton have been in every single Plot Coalition project to date. At least the big ones with the actors. So Titanfall, Room 24, and Helldivers, which Nathaniel Barton voiced Davis in... Not Davis. He voiced Draws in New Frontiers. And he voiced... what was the guy's name in Room 24? Not Obadiah. Obadiah was the main character. Ezekiel, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his name. And then in this film, he voices an engineer, which the Helldivers project is just like so much more inherently big. Are we so back? So just to explain for anybody new tuning in, I have backups of the drive. The main thing that is gone was like basically 6 weeks of renders. So that is the big thing that went missing from the film in this specific instance. There was other stuff on the drive too, and it was like the main working drive for this, but I do have backups, and the animation is happening on my faster drives, but I can't store a lot on those drives. So kind of like I'll work on a scene like this, and then like once the scene is done, back it up and like remove it from the drive so I can keep working once I know I have everything. But the main drive that was like, being worked on, and like anytime you saw like updates of things and whatnot, like it was coming off of, like the footage was coming off of that drive. That's the drive that went down. So it is getting repaired right now, and hopefully can be fixed. The big thing right now is like, one, can it be fixed? Whatever the cost of that is going to end up being. But then also just like, like right now the contingency is the backups and just like kind of accepting the loss. If I have to accept the loss of that 6 weeks of rendering being gone. I've re-rendered a bunch of the shots themselves, just to like get them back somewhere and just like, have that exist. But the big thing with that too is each of those individual renders also had multiple passes for visual effects that I don't have anymore, which I could go back in and go and re-render them, but that is an extremely tedious process, and I was doing it one at a time for a reason. So like I would animate a shot, render it, and then do the visual effects passes if it needed it. said OBS disconnected, but it looks like we're back now. But it's basically like an old historical piece, and I like nothing ever really came to fruition with it, and I could never like find it in me to part with it. And I was at the point where I was like, this just all really needs to go somewhere else. Like I need to find somewhere more like long-term to store this and just get rid of it. And I noticed when I started copying it, that it was having problems copying stuff over. Like it wouldn't even copy over half the footage. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. That means there's some bad apples in there, right? So I basically went and I was like, well, if footage is starting to corrupt in that root folder, there's a very high likelihood that like the longer it's left, the worse it's going to get. And I'm like, then that defeats the whole purpose of me holding on to this. It's like a hoarder holding on to like food that's gone bad, right? So I was like, all right, let me go ahead and like throw this into DaVinci Resolve and just start mass exporting it in a converted color space to just, have a copy of the footage, but it's brand new files. It's completely separated. And then I can also identify where those bad actors are. As I was doing that, I noticed like there were some things that were running slow, but I'm like, it could just be like loading that old footage. I know that there might be problems with some of the clips, but I need to free up space. So like, I'm just going to kind of power through and get this done, get those rendered out so that I can delete the main folder off my drive and free up like another like terabyte or so of space. And in the process of doing that, I was working on like a different thing, like a promotional thing for the Helldivers project, just like a really quick, just fun animation that I wanted to do for like social media and whatnot. And then like all of a sudden my computer bricked, which thankfully wasn't the whole computer. It was just the drive. So I think that's the golden thing in my heart. I think that's why I'm so optimistic, because at first I thought my entire computer was cooked. But then when it was just the drive, I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But so I sent the drive to repair place, and we shall see if it gets fixed. But I guess I'll throw it out there again, since it's probably like a whole new set of people in here at this point. If there's anybody here who wants to help out financially with that repair, anything is greatly appreciated, but you absolutely don't have to. But the option's there. So if you want to become a member or donate, feel free to. But if you're just here to hang out, view, just want to know what happened, that's why I'm here too. And we're anime. We're pushing ahead. Even if we lost the main hard drive, we're gonna keep pushing ahead. And I'm just putting these new renders, on a different drive. I'm not putting them on the backups yet because I don't want to touch the backups until I know what's going on with the main drive. And then like once that's sorted, then like I'll kind of focus in on backing up to those. But I kind of just don't want to touch anything else until I have a better idea of what's going on. But that's the tea.
Who is that?
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Okay, so her hand really just needs to go up top at the end. My performance is actually pretty decent throughout.
Who is that?
I think the big thing is I kind of want her head more turned here.
We call him the Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And
this point. He's looking over. I like how I keep coincidentally coming into these streams when the veteran is involved. It's true. It's true. It's very true. To be fair, this is like, I guess you were in here the few other times when we were working on other scenes, but now that we're like working through the big action scenes, this is where the veterans introduced and everything, so it makes sense. But it's also like, you know, the big scene, which we're almost done with. Super exciting. We just don't have the renders, the original renders or the VFX passes, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm sure it'll get repaired. I'm fingers crossed.
For I know.
And how long is that?
9 patron.
Also, everybody give it up for a bad password in the chat right now. He voices the veteran and does an incredible job at it.
Patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
So they're talking about him right now.
Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Trying to get in for a closer look at you.
Sweet liberty.
And I think I'll just put her in like the whole body offset down just a hair, because it kind of it peaks up just a little too much. I wanted to go forward more. Forward more than up.
Minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Minute. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
All right. And then we'll take this hand. Instead of buying a McDonald's snack wrap, I'm donating to Fix the Drive instead. Hey! Everybody give it up for a bad password. Thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate that. I know what it's like to give up a McDonald's snack wrap. So that means the world to me. Also, what a crazy world we live in that the McDonald's snack wrap is $5. Inflation, man. But, hey, I appreciate the sacrifice, and I appreciate you, man. The film would not be the same without you, and your donation to the Drive Fund means so much in my little bitty itty bitty heart. So thank you.
Long is that?
Ooh.
Sweet. So
And I mean that with all the sincerity in the world. And I'm adding a little bit of animation to the fingers so they could kind of get in more of a rested position anyways, but then as she reaches up and over, you know, and puts her hand down, it can look a little bit more natural, because I do think you'll probably see that. Hey, Janet Drago! Welcome, welcome! Good to see you here. It's been a bit.
sweet liberty.
Okay.
Sweet.
So, is that when her hand makes contact?
Sweet.
Yeah. Right about there. And can delete all those. Maybe I'll tuck her arm down here. And we'll get her hand in a nice rested position. I will say, for anybody who wants to like make their own films and stuff, I guess like storage is like the big like overlooked thing, you know? Like I feel like you know, there's so much that is like vested in like the creative process of it, right? Which like is very legitimate, but then it's like what is the actual cost of your vision storage wise? New Frontiers was 6 terabytes. And Helldivers so far, it's not as many, but it's pretty thick. Oh wait, I don't want to adjust that hand yet, because it's probably gonna just stay in the same spot. But yeah, like it's a very real thing that I don't see a lot of people talking about with like animations and stuff. Is just how large that ends up becoming, and like it being like an unexpected cost, because the reality is like the motion capture for the Helldivers project alone, just the data of them moving around, so not animated, none of that, just the data of the motion capture is for Helldivers is 90 gigs, and then for New Frontiers I think it was, I want to say 600 gigs, 600 or 700 gigs in just motion capture data, which is like kind of crazy. Like, so that's not the renders, that's not the animation, it is just the mocap data, and that's what goes into it.
Sweet liberty. Wait, sweet liberty.
Maybe I'll have her hand anticipated a little bit more. Not like smack down on it.
Sweet liberty. Sweet liberty.
That feels pretty good. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead, lock her hands to the rock. Then we'll set up the cameras and see if there's any additional animation that needs to happen. But there's a very good chance that once the cameras are set up, that like the animation looks totally fine. And it's so funny. This was like what was magical about working on New Frontiers. And is like the instance and stuff like this. Like obviously, like anytime that like you do animation on the characters, like it brings them to life, and that's cool to see. But in this, like anytime that it is also accommodating like the voice and stuff, and like you like hear an actor's performance and then you see the animation that is like being driven by that performance, it's like this is just a hollow character. There's nothing to this. It's digital pixels, but you believe it, you know, and that's fun. That's the magic in it. That's what makes me so smiley. It's like one of those things that keeps me from going insane. All right, before I get too deep into cleanup, just because we were having problems with the baking of the transforms, I'm just gonna go ahead and save this out first. I wish you a good stream and thank you for the Helldivers content. Yeah, of course. More than happy to provide it. I love doing it. hopefully the drive thing, I don't think it's going to set back too much. Like in a worst case scenario, I can't get any of the data back from that drive. I have the backups, and I just have to go through and re-render a bunch of stuff and then get a new drive and start working off of that, which would, you know, suck, but it is what it is. I'm okay. I'm okay any way that it shakes out. Mainly because the film is largely backed up and preserved. With the exception of obviously the stuff that was lost. All right. So now we have like the animation of the characters on here, and we'll put our cameras and then see what else we need to clean up here.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Woo.
Sweet liberty.
It's how I've seen it in my head this whole time. That's the other crazy thing is like, so like the radio edit of this and like the storyboards and stuff, like I've studied and memorized so much. And like I haven't listened to it in a while because there are certain things that I'm like, okay, now that I've done the motion capture and I'm in the thralls of animation, like I want to start trying to forget stuff from like the radio edit and like the rough storyboard previs edit of it all. I'm like, I want to start forgetting that so that like I can come up with new and fresh ideas. But then there's like, you know, stuff like this scene where it's just like the dialogue and the way that it pings off one another. That is like, you know, a part of what brings the voice here, and just being able to see it and like, it's like, yeah, that's what's been in my head is really, really cool. Like ever since the voice actors submitted their lines and stuff. Just a neat little tidbit. Let's see here. This originally is supposed to be like, at one point it's supposed to go behind them, but I don't even know if I want to do that. In my head it's been behind them because they would look and like you would see like kind of like the flashes of the veteran in here and whatnot. But
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9.
but there's not a lot of like, you don't get the expression. Mostly because she has all this stuff on her back. But I wonder if it's a 180. Not quite 180, but like, you know, the camera rotates around them. Let's try that first. See how it feels. I think that the thing that's also kind of keeping me positive is like the fact that like I can continue to move forward. Like the re-rendering and dealing with the crashes while rendering is obviously like, that's tough, but there's also just like a level of it's, you push a couple buttons and you hit the big blue button that says render and you wait to see if Unreal crashes or not. Like, like that's all that process is. But like if it was like all of the animation data and all the hours I've spent cleaning stuff up, that might have destroyed me. That might have been the like, you're getting the abridged Helldivers film now. But thankfully, it was just the stuff that's been rendered, and then everything else, for the most part, was backed up. So, and then anything else, it was downloaded through either Discord or Google Drive or whatever. Other artists were working on things that I would download and into it.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9. Patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
So I wonder if that's maybe like our key points we try to hit.
Wait,
Minutes. Ooh.
sweet liberty.
Patriotic.
Is a long and how long is that? Is the low and
Oh, for Helldiver than long as he's
Yo, the one who speaks for democracy. $20, bro. Thank you so much. Also, the one who speaks coming back to the stream. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever in chat. So this is a very pleasant surprise. I truly, very much so appreciate it. And it's so good to see you. That makes me very, very happy. 100% a bad password. Based. That's 4 McDonald's snack wraps.
We call.
Thank you so much, man. I truly appreciate it.
Veteran.
he's
Veteran. The call.
who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer.
Veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
I mean, that feels pretty good. Let's play it back.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9
What's going on with that turn? Oh, there's two little
How long is
keyframes.
that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes.
How long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Okay, I think
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's longer than held. No.
Patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Wait.
All right. So my favorite part of this camera move is just at the end of it. I'm not a huge fan of everything else going on right now.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
That's my favorite part, is when she comes up over the rock and she's like, "Sweet liberty," and the camera's pushing up towards her face. That's the move. That's like the keeper. I don't love everything else. So I think what I'm gonna try instead when they say 9 minutes, it was about fighting in combat, right? Yeah, it's you know, in my mind, it's like how long he's just been like on the ground as far as they know. But I think the move is going to be doing more of a panning motion. Which is like, there's a whole thing about like how Pixar, or at least how Pixar used to, I couldn't really say with their newer films, but I know it's like there's specifically with Ratatouille, it's like an example of like, you know, if you don't need to cut, like, why would you? And I think that's kind of like where I'm at here. There was originally 3 cuts. It's like it was supposed to be like, who is that? And then we call him the veteran, and then like cut behind them. The medic guy is like, he's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know. She's like, and how long is that? Cut back to the front. And he goes, 9 patriotic minutes. And then she says the sweet liberty. But, you know, in this instance, like, does cutting to what they see do it, because we're watching that unfold at the same time. This is kind of the reaction, the audience cam. And does it like, you know, like if you were watching a sports game and it was like, here's the action, you're in the action, whatever, and then you cut to the audience and the audience says something, and then you cut behind the audience to like still get the audience insight but see what they're watching, even though you know it's the same thing. Like, does that add to it? I think this might be a case where I would probably say no. Like, I feel like we get it. We know that they're watching them, and I feel like having it be a continuous camera motion almost makes the comedy a little bit better, because then you can just also show the pans. But like the example I've always seen about it is in Ratatouille. There's like a whole bit where like, you know, it's the characters in the blocking, but the camera is literally just like in one place, like going to the next character, and that's kind of what I want to see if we can do here. I felt like there was a dirty joke somewhere being able to last for 9 minutes, which is also pretty long for a guy. Sure. I'll leave that at that.
Who is that?
I was like, do I have a queso level reaction about this? My wife loves watching queso. She is very big into YouTube culture, and right now her main kick is queso. So we've been watching a lot of queso streams, like highlight videos and stuff. But I know he's done stuff in the past where he's kind of trolled people, because I 100% believe it's kind of like the Nikocado avocado thing, where it's like he is the character because that's the bit, you know.
Who is that?
Which, for those who are wondering, yes, my wife also used to watch Nikocado avocado. Not a ton. It was more so like she would watch it for verification of, like, she'd see somebody else talk about something and then go and, like, you know, was that true? Did that actually happen with that guy? It usually did.
We call him the
Who is that?
We call him the We call him the veteran.
He's lasted
I am already starting to like this more.
longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
Nine. Patriot.
Because it's getting to the point a lot faster, which I think is the nice part here.
Patriotic minutes. Ooh.
And we'll just go to last frame.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Okay. I feel like we really need to be from her perspective. Right, so maybe just like barely off center from her face. But pan, we'll try pan, bam, bam. Maybe with like a slow pull out. Maybe we'll keep it to 28 millimeters since we're a little bit closer now. Getting the camera right for dialogue is like always the trickiest part, in my opinion. Action, it's like way easier. But I feel like action, in your head, you know exactly like what the action is. And then you're just iterating on that.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
We'll just take that to the.
Release. Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Okay. Let's go very different. We're gonna try an opposite approach. We're gonna go long lens, kind of bump back and forth, but push into her, you know, for that very end reaction. So maybe we'll just go in and we'll just also set our end keyframe. So we know we want our first keyframe somewhere over here. And the last keyframe to just like push it on her.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted
This one might be it.
longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
I feel like we might have just found it.
Who is
Lasted
The veteran.
I think
how long is that?
the main thing I'm gonna double check or change.
Patriotic.
Might be going slightly
Minutes.
wider.
Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Just punching out to 70 instead. And just adding some camera shake.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
That camera shake is a little intense. So I think what we'll do, we're almost there. We've almost got it. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. And maybe we will start at 85. Then at the end here, I want to be at like 50.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the veteran. The veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And and
Helldiver I know.
and how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh. patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Then I think I might just have to smooth out.
Ooh.
So
On here, the yawn.
Minutes. Ooh.
sweet liberty.
Ooh.
Sweet,
Oop, I messed something up.
sweet, sweet liberty. Sweet,
Ooh.
sweet liberty.
Minutes. Ooh.
So
Oop, too fast, too fast, too fast. I feel like we just need to really slip this in.
sweet liberty.
Minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
Ah, that feels much better. Much, much better. I love how the one who speaks dropped in hasn't been on a stream or in chat in months. Dropped in with the $20 and dipped. I kind of love that. Probably still watching. Who knows? Who knows? But I do think that's just classic. Aura points through the roof right now.
Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
No.
We just want to make sure they stay well framed.
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty. Who is that?
We call him the veteran.
He's lasted longer than any other Helldiver I know.
And how long is that?
9 patriotic minutes. Ooh.
Sweet liberty.
All right. I dig that shot. I'm going to call that one good. So I'll set it to render later, but we can move on to the next one. Bad password says disappears for months, randomly returns, donates $20, refuses to elaborate, leaves. That's exactly what he did. I'm here for it. That's aura farming to the extreme. For anybody who's tuning in wondering what happened or what's going on, I'll give the Cliff Notes recap as I set up the next animation. It's not world ending by any means. Let me mark these as animated. Yo, there's 3 more. No, that one's rendered too. Guys, we're on the last shot for this scene. I do need to redo the VFX passes for that one, though. Yeah, because I believe 10 and 11 are one mocap file, if I remember correctly. Let me double check. But for anybody new tuning in, basically the situation is the main working drive for the film, where like a bunch of the renders and stuff have been going out to, died. There are backups. The renders were probably set back about probably 6 weeks, not of rendering, but like 6 weeks of animation. And then like every time that I animate a shot, I just render it, or like I'll animate a few shots and render them at like in after one session. So like kind of like what we're doing right now. But in the case of this, that drive went down and it's been sent off for repair, and hopefully it gets fixed. That is the hope. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we're on the last one. Last animation for this scene. Guys, we're going to finish because we do be on this stream. And you know, making things happen. We're gonna try and finish it in tonight's stream. We're gonna see if we can get this scene completely done, which would be super cool. So this next bit, it's a good amount of dialogue. There aren't any real spoil. There's one like minor spoiler, but nothing too crazy. If you are looking to have the zero spoiler experience, I do apologize, but it's very, very minor. It doesn't give away really too much at all. But the first thing I need to go do is grab the audio for the scene because it is more continued dialogue. So actually, let me go ahead and first set up here, and then I'll tell this in 6111, just in case I need that note for later, because who knows, when I go to edit this, I'll be like, why isn't 6110 in there? It's like, because 6110 and 6111 ended up being the same mocap recording, and it didn't make sense to split them up in sequence. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, that is why I did that. One of the few times I used my brain. All right, I'm going to import these mocap things as individual animation files because they are longer, and the longer ones tend to crash Unreal. But if I do them one at a time, it might not. But the other shots in between this I've already completed and rendered out, which is cool. And I think that was before, that was a while ago that I was working on that set. So like before I was working on the set of animations that were part of the data loss. So in theory, we should be good there. Sweet. That is like the first time in a while that I've gotten the longer mocap clips to all transfer in correctly. Then let me go grab the audio for this clip, which like this will kind of be this will be very much so in a way like very full circle, because I'm turning into unlit mode so that my computer doesn't freak out and die, or OBS doesn't disconnect or anything like that, because I have DaVinci Resolve open right now, and I'm gonna go grab this scene. Beep, 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 beep. Cool. Switch it to wave. Drop it in there. I'll put in just an audio. Oh, not what I meant to do. I meant to. Nope. Why does it not want to? Whatever. I don't need to put a right audio at the end of it. But this is, you'll kind of get behind the scenes of how I animated all of New Frontiers was with this specific method, which I don't recommend, but it's how I did it. I don't recommend in the sense of doing it for a whole thing, for like a whole scene. And like in New Frontiers, you know, like the problem with doing it the way that I did. Sorry, I'm very sleepy. I was up pretty late last night, recovering stuff and whatnot. So that was a journey in itself. So sorry, I just got like hit by that wave of sleepy. What was I saying? Oh, all of New Frontiers. So New Frontiers, I would basically like have like a scene, and I would do it in this exact same way where like every single scene had like the beep, 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 and then I would act out like everything. And in some cases, like I would sometimes split a scene into like multiple parts and then like beep, beep, beep into those. But there were very few bits that were like individual shots. And the problem with that is like when there's like an action scene, you know, there's so much of it where it's like I perform the action and in some cases like know that like, you know, oh, I'm gonna, you know, like get like this specific like preset animation or something, or hand animate this part. That would kind of like let live in there, but like everything was like timed out to that, and that's part of what contributed to some of the pacing issues in New Frontiers. It was like waiting for like like what could be like caught up to in that real time setup, but then also like, you know, when the actors are acting off of each other and like I'm trying to get an edit where like a lot of their facial mocap and stuff is lined up, which like back then just the facial mocap wasn't nearly as good as it is today. You know, that had its problems, but it was also just like these actors like on a Discord call waiting to hear the other person speak and then doing their lines and this, that. And I tightened it up where I could. And like, you know, they all did a great job. All things considered. But now with like this one, you know, like I only use that technique in like scenes like this where it's just like there's a lot of dialogue. It like kind of cuts through a lot of that, and it's the strength of that. But like the voice actors were able to record, and I was able to cut all their stuff up because there's no facial mocap. And when there is facial mocap, even though I don't like this method per se, the way that I did it here, which Unreal has since come out with more tools where like you can just plug in an audio file and have that like generate the mouth movement and some of the expression. They just recently launched like you can control what those expressions are, which is kind of cool, which I'm sure eventually will turn into some large language model, like, or like an abbreviated large language model that like can look at what the NPC or the character is saying and then adapt the expression to that, or like listen for like XYZ tone and adapt the expression to that, which like for background NPCs and games is super cool. But there is like a level of like staleness that it has to it, just because it's like not to anybody's specific face. But all that aside, in the Helldivers film, the way that I did facial animation when it does come up, which is not too often, but in the couple of scenes where it does, it is way more like, sorry, I keep like zoning out and like my brain goes on autopilot, and then I was like, wait, give me back the controls. So my apologies. What I meant to say was, then so the way that I would do it here was like, even if where I do like the beep, 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 it is already timed out, and I've already edited the voice actors' takes together. So anybody who's supposed to have facial performance capture, I am doing that facial performance capture, but just doing it with like to their voice, and like, you know, practicing the expressions and stuff of that character, because that's like a huge part of it too, is like, you know, because you know, you don't want everybody to look the same, or I don't want everybody to have the like same expressions I do. Like, I have to do something different for those characters and just behave differently. So like in stuff like the trailer, like the kid in the beginning, I know that had facial mocap, so that's my face. Eagle One, when she's like give them hell, like that shot of her, that's my face. And that's just the way it is like throughout. So the same way that I did the body motion capture, I did the face mocap, which so far it is totally working. Like it's totally fine. I think I got a bit spoiled by Room 24, which had just like this perfect uniqueness of like, it was a scan of the actor's face, so it already like, you know, had like the DNA of what they looked like, paired with like knowing the actor individually and like their expressions and the way that like, you know, they move their mouth or their eyes or whatever. Like having all that in the animation data is just like, that was another level. That was a whole experience in itself. And I love that film because of that. Whereas with this one, like, there is just a little bit of me obviously being self-conscious of like, and there's my face. But it's all my body motion capture too. I feel like I'm definitely way better at body mocap than face mocap, but I think in this film it totally works, and because there's not that much face mocap in it, I think it 100% works. All right, you know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm going to just create another blueprint of the veteran and just delete all those lights on his back, just to clean up the visual noise. I don't want to see all the clutter that the lights create. I'll keep this one because he does reference it. But the other ones coming off the backpack aren't necessary. So then we just got to bring them back over here. And the reason I did that on a new one rather than delete them out of this one is there are other sequences that use that blueprint of him that has the lights attached. And I'd rather leave those alone, so that if I have to go back in and re-render those shots or anything, the lights aren't missing. The lights stay there and they stay attached and all that jazz. That's the main reason that I work in this blueprint set, which is just such a better way to work. If we're being oh so totally honest. Because you can set up other little things too. Like something I started experimenting with was like, you can set stuff up on like with like physics so that like, like pouches and stuff roll around. There is a degree where it looks like too video gamey and like nothing actually like moves that much. And you can definitely like dial it in and whatnot. Not saying you can't. But like I've been testing out with, for instance, here, and because I needed it for a shot where she was running in a different scene and it was like the gun just doesn't look like it's attached. I basically use the same mechanism that allows a camera to follow a character in Unreal Engine. It's called a spring arm. So you can set all sorts of delays and offsets and how much inherited rotation and stuff comes with that. So she has that set up here, which like if I threw her animation on, but then go to change her transform, you'll be able to see it. You just saw it pop right there. So like, let's say, I wanted to move her around here. Maybe. Oh, now the gun doesn't want to update. The cape's updating. And now the gun doesn't want to. The gun is supposed to update. And you did see it like kind of pop there for a second. I don't know if I delete the animation. You did kind of see it just there. But that helps when like she was like bobbing around a lot. It was just kind of like trying to keep up with her, and it just added that visual noise and kind of made it look like physics. But it's lighter than physics, and doesn't have the wonky, like, like doesn't go crazy or just have that like unnatural, like it looks like it's just on a loose hinge effect to it. But, all right, so let's get all our characters set up in here. Cape's clipping, cape clipping, underground shipping. Looks like I have just the one take, at least for her. I am pretty good about like knowing when I got like the take. And if I feel like usually it's like, if I feel like my last 3 aren't it, I'll usually re-record. But obviously with this one, I was like, nah, I knocked it out. We Gucci. So I'll make sure the claps line up. I dragged something I wasn't supposed to. Okay, I have the wrong kind of tool selected. Okay, there we go. Because that's to fade the blend. No, why is it doing that? So it's slightly off.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No, no. I'm a sergeant.
Patriotic.
Yeah, we should probably take that out.
Let's see here. Nope, it does look like I did another take. Let's see what that looks like.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No, no.
I got it actually pretty close to lined up.
Marshal 553. Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No, no. I'm a sergeant.
It said
I'm leaving. That's
jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshal.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
Some of that we might have to retime, but let's get everybody's performances together first. And probably what we'll do is like set this up, get our cameras in place first, to see how, basically I want to know how often are we seeing hands. Because, you know, there is going to be a real reality where I just kind of set everybody's base pose with their hands. And probably just leave it like that unless attention is called to the hands specifically. But like if the hands are out of frame the whole time, then like there's not really any point.
Mar
So I think in this instance, I want them to be on this side of the rock. The conversation kind of be stemming from right here, but let's make sure we're good. I have to always check, are we in too much foliage? And let's get our transforms pretty close. Oh. I'm sorry, everybody. I do apologize. The whole stream went down for a moment. Looks like it's back now. So it looks like we're Gucci. We're back in the swing of things, back in the thick of it. All right, let's keep chugging along. Let's see, we'll do Helldivers 6 next. There we go. That's going to be where it starts. In New Frontiers, I had like all of these specific beeps. They were all on the exact same frame every single time. Here, I left a lot more like silence at the front end, so I could like hit record, go get in place, make sure I was settled before those beeps started going off.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad?
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremonious.
That's your voice. A bad password. That's my boy, Mr. Chief. I think this might be one where I set everybody with the same, like, starting route. Close to it, anyway.
What's a POI?
I think it means Patriotic Ordnance Indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
That's what I was saying. All it's been was the for managed democracy at the end of the teaser 5 months ago. So you'll be able to see your character talking real words here in a minute. I just get everybody's performances lined up a little bit more. So I think I'm gonna make sure they all kind of walk off in the same direction at the end, because this works better here. Do you also do voice audio editing, post processing? Yes. I don't do that until like the very end of the film. So here it's just like everybody's basically their raw recordings, and then I fill in from there. Oh, I walked back. But yeah, that tends to be the way to go with it. This is Helldiver 5. Which one of the ways that I want to post-process this film that I think would be like really funny is because in Helldivers there's like a very specific tonality to the helmets. It has the effect of, and I think it's what makes, you know, the different aspects of the game so special, is the way everybody sounds like their helmets are literally a bucket on their head. And so what I want to try to do is like take everybody's dialogue and legitimately just record an audio track that is just sticking a microphone and a speaker in a bucket and using that for some of this spatial audio of the helmets to layer into the mix. Obviously, while keeping, you know, the like the body of the voice in there as well, but to get like that natural reverb that, you know, the game has, I think it'd be funny to just literally run it into a 5-gallon bucket to record that reverberation. Also, it gives me an excuse to get a 5-gallon bucket.
Done.
I do remember when I was recording the mocap for this scene, I was like so done by the time I got to it. I was just like, I want to go to bed. I can't do this.
How that?
Find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Welcome to some of the dialogue of the film. I think that would probably be the most disheartening thing to have lost. Which, like, technically it was in those files, but there were plenty of backups of those. So literally the biggest thing that was lost was just those renders. Which would be great to have back, but we have, like, you know, the important stuff, like everybody's performances and stuff. All right. A bad password, here you come. Coming to lay down the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Da, da. Let's see, where's the clap?
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad?
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It says here you're...
Look, Mom, I'm managing democracy.
Oh, sorry.
Save you...
All right. We'll get this set up and then we can watch through the actual scene. Make sure everybody's hitting their cues. As far as the mocap's concerned. And then when they walk away.
I think they take an inner.
You can see where I was like, okay, I know everything's gonna be focused on them in the back. So I just started, like, once I got, because, like, in my office, straight back is, like, the stairs, and I just, like, got to the stairs and then just started walking in place rather than walking down the stairs. And I was like, you know, I can just take him and just keep shoving him, you know, down. But at that point, I know, like, the camera's not going to be on him, so that's a little funny. Ben, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so No, it is not safe. It is not all right. Well, it's who knows. It's on its way right now to go get repaired. So don't know how much that's going to be or anything. But yo, and we got Dabster Fox Deep. Man, we're gonna have the whole cast in here soon. Where's Valk? Yeah, so basically the main working SSD went kaput. Thankfully, with the way that I have like my whole system and Unreal workflow set up, is basically like I work in Unreal and like make all the animations and stuff on smaller SSDs that are just faster, and then like I store stuff on SATA drives, and the main SATA drive went down. So it's not too big of a deal right now because the SATA drive is like the thing that it had that the others didn't were renders. It was like 6 weeks worth of renders. Not like my computer has been rendering for 6 weeks, but just like I would animate a shot, render it, animate another shot, render it. So it was 6 weeks of that. But because it is in Unreal Engine, I was able to re-render those pretty quickly, but I did lose all the VFX passes because I haven't had time to re-render those. And at this point, I've shipped the drive, so we'll find out if they can actually recover the data or not. But if they can, then I'm not going to bother rendering out the VFX passes. But if they are able to, and then if I can afford it, get that shipped on back. I'm about to move to Nashville, so I won't be able to redo the voice lines until Wednesday if needed. Hey, dude, I mega appreciate that. The voice lines, perfectly safe. I had 3 backups, so there's like now one of the backups is a main. So all your stuff, completely safe. It's mainly the renders in the main working drive that, but it is those renders, because they were on the working drive, are gone, along with everything for the YouTube channel, but that's whatever. But yeah, so that's where all that's at, or like the state of it currently. But everything I was doing like for YouTube is on YouTube, so it's mainly like the biggest loss there is largely like my stream music playlists and like my stream thumbnails. So that I'm like that's very little in comparison to how much worse it could have been. There are a few other things on that drive that I would like to have back, but it doesn't have me crying. So for right now, because the Unreal project is on the smaller drives, I can continue to work on things. I'm just not putting anything on the backups right now, just because I want to leave them alone until I know what's going on with the main drive, and then if I need to purchase another one, so that I can have, that third backup again. So the film is in shape. It's just fallen behind a little bit from a rendering standpoint. But yeah, just I'm glad I had those procedures and things in place, but it was so close, like, because I thought my whole computer melted when it went out. I was like, oh no, that's everything. But it wasn't. So that was a positive. Dabster Fox Deep hitting one of his voice lines. Say it isn't so. A classic. All right, let's go ahead and watch this scene. See how it's feeling now that we've lined up the mocap, and we can start Working on the animation for it. What do you guys say we watch it in lit mode? Get some lighting in there, huh?
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad?
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh.
Okay, there's something off timing-wise with the veteran.
Marshal until you die or I find someone. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better. Die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Sergeant.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust. Eagle 1 leaving combat zone and rearming. Be back.
Comms are down too. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshal.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
I think it means Patriotic Ordnance Indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
And everybody goes back.
Marshal 5531 of...
Okay, that feels pretty good. There was one bit with the veteran towards...
Get Tom.
Yeah, I think it was around here. I also forget that, like... And this is something that can just be hard to remember. Is because there aren't, like, eyes per se. Like you can't... It's a lot harder to convince somebody. Like, they almost literally have to be looking in the exact direction. So, like, even with the middle Helldiver, the woman that he's talking to, like, there's a part in the performance where I can tell I was like, with my head, I was like, yeah, and I tilted my head this way and I kept my eyes this way, like, because that was like that's what I was doing with my head, and it doesn't translate with the helmets on, so that's something that I'll have to pay attention to while we're cleaning it up. I'm interviewing for a position at a full-service production studio. If they have mocap capabilities, I'll let you know and can try and suit up. That'd be pretty sweet. Ben, if you ever want to make your Star Wars film, Unreal Engine's the place to do it. I'm saying. Look at this. I just left these guys baking in the sun while I went on a rant. You can't do that on set. People do that on set. but I can leave these guys here all day and the sun's not going to move. It's wonderful.
Comms are down too. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshal.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
I think it means patriotic ordnance indicator.
Check that hard drive, Ben. Check that hard drive.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I would tell anybody right now. Do a DSK CHK in command prompt on that hard drive right now.
2. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think?
Okay, so it's something about the way that his head rotates. My dad is John Unreal, creator of Unreal Engine.
Take it anywhere until that automaton artillery.
So I'm just gonna split this.
And jammer is taken out.
And then just blend it back.
Automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You're down 2. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
And we'll just blend it a little bit longer.
You think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshall.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What?
Bad password. Your voice just sounds so cool.
Why?
Let's just be honest for a minute.
Oh, sounds.
Me walking in place over here like a goober.
Sounds important.
I'm just gonna blend this in.
Oh. Sounds important.
It's not perfect at all, but I don't think we'll be looking at the veteran at that point. I'll be pushing his body off into the distance once it gets there. But that feels pretty good. Honestly, all of her stuff feels pretty good too, like all throughout here.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Classified info. Our new order.
You can see me.
Our new orders are to get the asset to that.
I itched my nose or my chin or something right there. So we'll delete that.
Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
And I think I might grab this from when they're all looking at Eagle 1 for that little bit. Because that section is going to be filled in with another shot
Go on leaving.
that already exists. So we'll just take this and blend it on either side. You could sign my angle monitor.
Classified info. Our new orders are to classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took
And then I feel like she does need to react.
care of a
soon.
power relay.
I pulled the lever. I pulled.
Up. We. Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust. Eagle 1 leaving combat zone and rearming. Be back.
Comms are down too. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshal.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
I think it means Patriotic Ordnance Indicator. Ordnance.
And we'll trim that there. We'll split it. And let's see if we can.
Ordnance Indicator.
Oh. Sounds important. Sounds important.
She's kind of sliding, going all over the place right now. Let's see.
Oh. Sounds important.
Patriotic Ordnance.
That seems like more trouble than it's worth. I wonder if... Is there a basic walk that I have in here? No, but let me see if I can get it like a default walk real quick. And just kind of line it up and let it rip from there. So we'll go down to Mixamo, animations. Let me go check. Oh, this was something else that was on that drive. Was some of the Mixamo downloads. So there's not really anything here, which that's fine.
Think it means Patriot Ordnance Indicator.
Oh. It's important.
Indicator.
Honestly, what I might do is just retarget this this lovely walk onto her and use that instead. Let's see here. We'll just export the veteran. Maybe call it WC for walk cycle. Just so I know it's not supposed to be like an actual animation. And it didn't save it inside the folder, but whatever. But it should be the only animation called WC. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where's she at? Right here. Okay, and now we're just gonna mega shorten this clip. Is signing with my toes fine? I know, I'm kinda quirky.
Sound.
And this is what we're going to do. We're going to line it up, blend it, and match with the previous clip. We'll see if Spine 1 does the trick.
Like ordnance indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
Marshal 5531 of
Important.
And before she turns around, we'll just blend it twice.
Sounds important.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Sounds important.
There we go. At least they're both doing a step up and down walk, and then by this point we're supposed to be panning up, which I need to put the super destroyers back in the sky. Those were in the previous level, but they're not in this one, so I gotta make sure those are up there for when this shot is rendered. But we'll keep chugging along at it. All right. Then the other two guys looked pretty good throughout. The big thing is you can tell how tired I was because I did all of her parts where like I was like actually like squatted down, and I'd been doing so much motion capture at that point. I was like, screw it. These guys are standing up and I'll squish them down in Unreal. I'm not dealing with this no more.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't.
I'm just gonna do a quick spot check on the two of them, but I think they should be good.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust. Eagle 1 leaving combat zone and rearming. Be back.
Comms are down too. We aren't getting anywhere until that automaton artillery and jammer is taken out.
Don't you think that's risky?
You tell me, Marshal.
Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
I think it means patriotic ordnance indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
All right, that honestly is feeling pretty good to me. I think I'm trying to decide if I want to. You know what? I think I am going to just get their everything zeroed out real quick. Just with the transforms, we'll make those out as like timed up animations. We'll drop in our cameras, figure out where we need animation to happen, do the animation, and call it a Gucci.
What the? Oh.
The biggest thing here is I just want him to end up walking.
POI.
I think it means patriotic ordnance indicator.
Marshal.
Yeah, we should probably take that out.
What's a POI?
I think it means patriotic ordnance indicator.
All right, and then when she gets
Patriotic ordnance.
into this mode, we'll just keep her walking forward. Does not need to be perfect at all, but I want it to look somewhat like, you know, she's moving across the ground.
Ordnance indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
I'm not too worried about it looking immaculate by any means.
Patriotic. Patriotic ordnance indicator.
Oh. Sounds important.
Can you imagine plot twist? These two guys are just like, you know what? We're good. We don't need to we don't need to join this. Let's just turn around and bail while we can. All right. So everybody's animation is lined up. It's looking pretty good. And they all have some transforms. So the next thing I'm going to do is just bake all this out so we can animate on top of it. Because in Unreal Engine, if you try to animate on top of like blended animations and stuff, it can get pretty wonky. So I am just going to record in world space. So it takes that transform data with them as well as the blended animations. And just turns it into just one nice and friendly file. 3 timed. And I mentioned it earlier, but I'll reiterate it here. One like big positive with how I've been animating this that kind of saved it here was just the fact that you know, I didn't necessarily like have everything all stored in one location, or like it's not like on that drive was like the last several weeks of all of this. Like it's all pretty well contained. But now I should be able to zero this out entirely. She should do even walk off. Yep, there she goes. I imagine Unreal renders take a considerable amount of time. Is that something you just do before going to bed and let it run overnight? No, actually. Unreal Engine renders are very fast. The big things with Unreal Engine is like, even like in this scene, like here, we're getting, if I had to guess, maybe like 40, 50 FPS. Like we can see it in color and whatnot. We get pretty good detail. The thing is, like, you know, the engine is deciding what to compress down and make bigger based on, you know, how far the distance of the camera is. So like if I zoom, like bring the camera all the way back out here, but then zoom way in, even here it's not quite doing it yet, but you can see like all that popping that it's doing right now, and it's basically like figuring out like, okay, what can I start sacrificing because the camera's so far away and because it thinks the camera is looking at it from this view. So it has a pretty far render distance depending on your hardware and all that jazz. So it does actually render pretty quick. When you add foliage and stuff, like here, you can see we just frame rate just took a nosedive because it's rendering all of this foliage in here as well. But it still like does a pretty decent job. Like I can go up to like, you know, these flowers and they look pretty good. Like especially from like right there, that looks pretty realistic. That said, when you render out of Unreal, basically it's less about like, you know, waiting for it to like render everything so specifically. It is like basically to get an even better image at a higher fidelity, like yes, like rendering at 4K and stuff, like that starts to chew up the render time. But then like you can have the engine choose how many times it reiterates that rendering. So that helps with things like anti-aliasing and stuff, which is like where you get like jagged edges. It's like smoothing that out, or like motion blur. You know, the more samples you have, the more it can re-render that. The smoother that motion blur will look. All that kind of jazz. I have a pretty good render set dialed in from what Blur Studio used on Secret Level, which so far has worked really well. And I just tweaked it. I tweaked those render settings a little bit just to help with some specific things with the way that the Helldivers are set up and whatnot. So this is going to be the veteran timed. And Ben, I do see your question. Let me read it here real quick. Is there cloth or fabric plugin that can get the capes to flap in the wind, or is that something you have to animate? Nope, that is built directly into Unreal. That's just another good example of like it's resource intensive, so it's not simulating that right now, but I can show you. Uno momento, por favor. Timed. If I click simulate, and it might melt things a little bit. But you can see that there's now wind. Goodness. When I went and simulated the cloth, it caused it to crash out. So that's probably what happened. I'm seeing the messages come in now about no audio and the crashing. Hold on, guys. I've been to mime school. All audio is muted. I can read lips. Let me know what's happening what's happening when you can hear me again. I'll keep yapping, but it's all good. It's all good. You can hear now. Okay, yeah, I think it was just the GPU. It's okay. The GPU just did not want to handle that. It said, "No, sir. Get out of here." Which is just the way it goes. But all that to say, yes, you can you can do cloth in Unreal Engine, and then in some cases you can where you need it, you can bring it back into or go into Blender and animate it and bring it back. And then I can also control it with this wind, which I'll probably set up just so it blows everybody's capes backwards or to the side a little bit. With the 1 minute left in the 3-hour goal, I just wanted to quickly shout out Ghosty, A Bad Password, and The Goat, the one who speaks, for their donations today. It means a whole lot. Actually, I think Ghosty gave, I don't know which currency it was in, but the chat says, or like the stream, I think at one point said there was $55. So he must have given 30, which means so much. So thank you, everyone, for donating to the Recover the Drive fund. It means so much. It truly does touch my heart. All right, let's kick this back open. Nope, wrong scene. What the heck? Where's that folder? Oh, it's up here. 6111. It must be because those ones have extensions, like additional extensions on them. Weird. All right. Oh, hey, we're back. Let's go ahead and bake out these animations, set up our cameras, keep things rolling in the deep. Roll until the cows come home. Rolling. Keep those doggies rolling. Right. Alright, this is just time to not anim. And we'll delete these. 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's sure hope that was in world space. It was not. Yeet 'em and delete 'em. That's all right. HD 5. Timed. V2. Call the K. I have a wild spear. What in the world? This has got to be a troll in chat. I don't dare say your name out loud. That looks like demonetization waiting to happen. That is a absolute crazy gooner username for anybody looking at the chat right now. Dabster Fox Deep coming in hot with that $10 and his first super chat on a live stream. Dabster, that means so much to me. I literally just shouted gooner and then you donated. But I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much, man. That means a whole lot to me. Thank you. Um, it's just very hilarious how that just transpired. But I truly, truly appreciate it. That means the world to me. Also, for being a part of this project, that also means so much to me. It touches my wee little heart. See you, Ben. Thank you for swinging by, hanging out, being a part of this, and safe travels to Nashville. Stay safe. Take care of your family. Super happy for you. All right, so we got everybody's animation in here. It's set, and now we are going to set up our cameras, get our cameras rolling. What time is it? It's 11:40. We'll see how I'm feeling at midnight. I might call it at midnight. Just because I do be on that mad sleepy.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Okay. So this should definitely be of them because the previous shot was the veteran walking past camera. So I kind of want him in camera, but like show what he's approaching. In this case, obviously them. So I'm going to close up everybody's stuff right now, just so I see the cameras, which I could filter for the cameras, but I'm too lazy now. I'll go F4. We'll hit it with the 50 mil. And we'll track in with him. I was in debate about doing like virtual cameras and stuff for this, but it just hasn't really made sense in the way that it's been put together.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
We'll move all the way up on her for that line.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad. .5531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment. Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad. One of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
That feels okay.
531 of Judgment Squad.
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It's not too bad.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad?
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
And then this is what we're going to be doing. Split selection. Jump out of the camera. And flip it around. Honestly, I might just shoot this all in 50s. Knowing that these guys are gonna, you know, come down a little bit more.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better. It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed.
So that one's pretty simple. Sometimes I make the camera shake just a little bit larger.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new
And then where that ends, we'll add another cut. And add another camera. Check the Plot Coalition chat. If you're not in the Plot Coalition Discord, here's a little plug. The fact that you went and made that is incredible. Goon Diver! Amazing.
That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Just hitting up with that gooner.
That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Then some of this is just editing at this point. Because Unreal Engine will automatically cut this all together.
Thanks, but why am I important?
Imagine asking that question and getting shut down like that. Why am I important? You're not. Absolutely shattering self-esteem.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're
This is what I mean by the, like, getting the cameras in there first. Just goes so much further in, like, okay, what actually needs to be animated, because, like, I can already tell that, like, there's so much with the hands and stuff that I don't need to worry about. And just other characters in general, like, if you're not on screen, you know? My brain stopped processing there.
You're not.
Oh.
Not. You're not.
Very short clip. I think for this next bit.
Oh.
Don't take.
Oh. Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up.
The reason I'm not pointing it at their faces is because I do know that I'm going to squat them down.
To him.
You haven't.
Even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct? It's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds
Okay.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on.
Sounds like class. Tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes.
POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on.
Sounds like classified info. What?
Oh.
Don't.
Check the focus throughout.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on.
Sound. You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad.
Maybe I'll hit it with 2 of these. See how that feels.
Important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on.
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on.
I'll be honest, I'll probably not get through this whole animation tonight, but we'll at least like watch it back with the camera angles and stuff, and then I'll probably end up calling it because I'm starting to get pretty sleepy. But I can render out that previous shot that we did. Look at all these cameras. In New Frontiers, there was one scene, a dialogue scene, in episode 6, when BT like shows up in the compound, safe haven city place, where that had, I believe, 81 cameras. That was a huge dialogue scene.
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI. Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI. Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
feel like this might be the one camera angle that won't be at a 50. I think I'll go with my new favorite angle, or focal length, which right now is a 28 millimeter. Also, I am so sorry. I just nose inhaled into the mic. That probably was not kosher. Nice. Fun. It wasn't very
Yup,
cash money.
we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Yeah. Meh. I think I'd rather be on this side. I like seeing him open up. I like that we can just immediately like bam over to him. I think over here is the right call. The lighting isn't as nice, but it's not ugly lighting by any means.
Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
How did I not have the transform set? Rekeyed.
Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever. I pulled the lever.
Another one bites.
Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust.
Actually, you know what I might be able to do? There is a possibility that this crashes Unreal Engine. But gosh darn it, we're going to give it the good old-fashioned try. Let me... add subsequence track.
Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust.
Eagle One went zooming. Oh, baby, business is booming.
Another one bites the dust. Eagle One leaving combat zone and rearming. Be back.
Comms are...
So I don't think it's gonna work in that instance, but that is something super powerful about Unreal, is you can literally like put animations into other animations.
Get the asset to that POI.
Yup, we just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
All right. I think probably what I'll do, I'll probably honestly end it there. It's after midnight. There's still a bit of this dialogue scene to go, but it's pretty straightforward. But we can watch it back just so you guys can kind of see like the direction that it's headed. Still needs a lot of cleanup and stuff, but having the cameras in place and whatnot will help inform everything for later. So we'll watch it real quick, and then I'll probably end the stream.
Marshal 5531 of Judgment Squad?
Me? No. I'm a sergeant.
It says here your previous marshal was unceremoniously vanquished by automaton forces when you landed. That makes you the new marshal until you die or I find someone better.
Ooh, congrats on the promotion.
Thanks, but why am I important?
You're not.
Oh.
Don't take it personally. He takes a bit to warm up to.
I don't think we even warmed up to him.
You haven't. And your squad is what's important. You were tasked with locating a POI, correct?
Yes. Something about an automaton lab where they're experimenting on—
Sounds like classified info. Our new orders are to get the asset to that POI.
Yup. We just took care of a power relay.
I pulled the lever.
Another one bites the dust.
Okay. I feel pretty good about that. It's headed in a good direction. It needs a lot of cleanup work. Probably we'll go through and adjust a few things with the cameras. But overall, I'm feeling pretty solid about that. So for everybody who joined, who came and hung out, for all those who donated, thank you so much. I will continue to keep everybody updated just on what is going on with the hard drive. Hopefully we can get it back and get all that work back. Would be cool. But as you can see, still being optimistic. Spirits are high. Still continuing on in the face of adversity, because that's what Helldivers do. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, being a part. Consider becoming a member, but it's not mandatory. It's not obligated. If you're just here to hang out as a viewer, hey, I'm just happy to have you here. Go play some Helldivers. Get some games in for me, because I haven't been able to play as much recently. I need to get on more, but thank you all again. I don't have any of my stream ending stuff because it was all on that hard drive. So like usually I was about to get ready to click out on the things and they don't exist right now. So hopefully we get those back so we can, be jamming to some music at the end. But thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I should be streaming again on Thursday. I won't have the stuff back by then, but we will keep on going. Thank you all for hanging out. Bad Password, Dabster Fox. Great seeing you in here. Thank you to everybody who donated. And we'll see you all later. All right, that's it. I'm for real ending it now.